Hey everyone, thank you for joining Free to Yoga. My name's Catherine and this is Rex. It is a very chilly morning this morning in Perth, Western Australia, so I'm really looking forward to getting moving. If you want to grab a block, we're going to be doing a little bit of balancing, so a block can always help you out to bring the ground a little bit closer to you. Otherwise, hop into something comfy and I'll meet you on the mat. So we'll start off today laying on our backs in our bridge position. So your heels are underneath your knees and your knees are hip width distance apart, pointing to the sky. Reach your arms out and you should just be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. So press your feet into the ground and imagine drawing them towards your body. Now press your lower back into the floor, lifting your pelvis up and draw your pelvis towards the sky, lifting your lower back and upper back off the floor, pressing your shoulders into the earth. And then we'll lower back down really slowly, one vertebrae at a time. We'll start to move with our breath, connecting our breath with our body. So as we inhale, we'll press our lower back into the ground, lift our pelvis, and then slowly lift it all off the ground. As you're inhaling up, and then as you exhale, one vertebrae at a time, lower back down to the ground. Just moving at your own pace. We'll do about 5 just to warm up the body. Warm up the back of the body, the legs, and just connect yourself, connect to your breath. Feel a bit more grounded. Pressing your feet into the ground. Lower back first, then lifting the pelvis all the way up. And as you exhale, lower back down again. Let's do 2 more. Lifting up on your inhale and rolling back down on your exhale. Last one, lifting up and lowering back down. So rolling onto your left side, bring a pillow or a cushion underneath your head, or you can just place your arm underneath. Bring your right hand to the floor in front of you and pressing into that floor, I want you to lift your right leg off your left. Flex your foot, keep your knee bent, and imagine there's something behind you and you're pressing that away. So you're pushing away with your foot, bringing your knee back so it's in line with your hips. And then bringing it forward. And then pressing back. Really engage your glutes and your legs, all the muscles. Move with really strong control, back and forth, just moving slowly. So you can really feel that movement of your femur bone. Feel your muscles contract as you press back and release as you come forward. And pressing back and forward. Press back and forward. Press back and forward. Last one. Press back and forward. We'll swap over to the other side now. So bring the right side of your body to the ground. Pillow or cushion under your head or just your arm is fine. Press your left hand into the ground and lift your left leg up. Flex your foot and press it back. Bring it forward. Press it back. Bring it forward. Press it back. Bring it forward. press it back, bring it forward, 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 and press it back. And that will be the last one. Now coming up onto all fours, we'll do a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So check your stance that your knees are underneath your hips and your wrists are underneath your shoulders, and just turn your fingers a little bit outwards. So your middle finger is sort of pointing towards the corners of your mat. Your wrist creases should be parallel with the short edges of your mat. Straighten through the spine. And as you inhale, tilt your tailbone up and draw your gaze to the sky, dropping the belly. And as you exhale, you're pressing through the floor with your hands and your shins, rounding through the spine and tucking your chin under. Inhale, raising to the sky, tilting your pelvis. And exhale, draw that tailbone down, tuck the chin and round through the spine. Inhale, raising up. And exhale, rounding. Inhale, raising up. Exhale, rounding. Coming back to neutral, we'll do some barrel rolls. So moving with your torso and your head, your upper body, and just rolling over the top of your hands, coming from one side to the other, and then bringing your sit bones back to your heels, rounding across, and then forward again. Just do some movements that feel good for you. Go as far forward and back as you want to. Just warming up all the joints. You might find you get some cracks and pops in your hips or wrists. Everyone will feel a little bit different. Just make sure you're moving to something that's comfortable for you. We'll go around one more time in this direction and then we'll swap to the other. And changing directions, going back the other way. Focus on your breathing and move with your breath. Maybe take a few cleansing breaths here, inhaling through your nose, and as you exhale, just sigh it all out. Take another inhale and exhale, sigh it all out. And we'll all meet in neutral all fours position. Making sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. I want you to lift your right leg, bent knee out to the side. Now draw it around behind you and then bring it back to neutral without touching the ground. Bring it out to the side, back behind you, and then down. Out to the side, back behind you, and down. Out to the side, back behind you, down. We're trying to keep our hips nice and neutral here. Out to the side, back behind, and down. Reach your right leg out behind you, straightening through the knee. Flex your foot. Check your hips are aligned. And let's pulse. Just moving from that leg. Pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. bend your knee and step that foot forward between your hands. Keep the bent knee over the top of your ankle. Inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Check that your back knee is stuck underneath your hips, so you're at a 90-degree angle for both your knees. Tuck your back toes, and we're going to lift into crescent lunge, straightening through that back leg. Lowering that back leg down again, bending the knee, and hover it just above the ground. Raise it back up, and lower it back down. Raise it back up, lower back down. Raise it back up, and lower it back down. This time we'll hold. Draw your tailbone down. Check your knee, your front knee stacked over your ankle. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands back down to the ground and step your right knee back to meet your left. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Check your all fours position. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Your gaze is just in front of your hands to the ground. Take your left knee out to the side. Bring it behind you, and then back to neutral. Out to the side, back behind you, neutral. You're just moving from your leg, moving using your glutes and your hamstrings, not moving your upper body. Out to the side, back behind you, and neutral. Out to the side, back behind, neutral. Out to the side, back behind, neutral. Last one, out to the side, back behind, neutral. Now extend that left leg out behind you. Flex your foot and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee and step forward between your hands. Check your stance. Make sure your front knee is stacked over your ankle and your back knee is stacked over underneath your hip. Inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Tuck your back toe. Draw your tailbone down and extend through that back leg, straightening. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to bend that back knee, lowering it down, hovering just above the mat. And then raise back up. Lower down. Raise back up. Lower down. Raise back up. Lower down. Raise back up. Lower down and hold for 5. Tuck the tailbone down. 3, 2, 1. Place your hands back down to the ground and we'll meet back in all fours. Do a couple rounds of cat-cow. As you inhale, draw your tailbone up, gaze is up. And exhale, round through the spine. Connect back with your breath if you've lost that connection. Moving with your own breath. Inhale, raising up. And exhale, round. If you need a break here, feel free to move into child's pose and hold there for a minute. But if you want to keep moving, then cat-cow. We'll all meet in all fours. We'll do another round of that, but this time we're going to add in some balancing. So in all fours again. So reaching our right knee out to the side, back behind, neutral. 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 Last one, out to the side, back behind, neutral. Extend out your right leg and flex your foot. Pulse for 10, 9, 8, remember to smile, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee and step your foot forward between your hands. Check your stance. You might need to bring that back knee forward a little so it's stacked underneath your hips and your right knee is stacked over the top of your ankle. Press your foot into the ground and raise your arms up to the sky. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Tuck your back toe and lift that knee off the ground. Draw your tailbone down. Lower the back knee down. Hover it just above the ground and then raise back up. Lower down and raise back up. Lower down, raise back up. Lower down, raise back up. Last one, lower down, raise back up. Lower down, bring your weight forward into your front foot. Draw your hands down and around back behind you as you use your back foot as a bit of a lever, moving into Virabhadrasana 3, lifting your back foot off the ground. Flex your back foot. Check your hips are aligned. Imagine you're pressing your back foot against a wall, pushing something away from you. Reach out through the crown of the head and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing here. Focus on something steady. On your next inhale, I want you to bend through that front knee and bring your left foot forward into standing staff pose. Bent front knee. You can straighten through that right leg now if you can. Now we're going to do some toe taps. So bringing your hands at heart center in prayer, or you can keep them on your hips. Place them somewhere that's comfortable for you. Find your drishti, your gaze, something still. We're going to reach out with our left foot and tap something in front of us, the ground in front of us. Then we're going to bring it back to center and reach out to the left and touch something on the ground. Bring it back to center and then reach out behind you and then bring it back and reach out to something over to the right. Back to center. We'll do this another 2 times. If you fall out, don't worry about it. Just come back. Find your gaze. Stand for a moment and then move back into it. Out to the left and center. You might need to drop your left foot down for a moment. That's perfectly fine. Out behind you and center. Over to the right, center. The last round. Out to the front, center. Over to the left, center. Back behind you, center. And over to the right and center. We'll all meet in Tadasana. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Draw your tailbone down. Broaden across the collarbones and bring your shoulders away from your ears. Raise your arms up to the sky on your inhale. And as you exhale, let's fold forward. Hands to the ground or your shins. Nice bend in the knees. And relax your neck down. Let your head be heavy. You can walk out your legs if that feels nice. Just to get a little bit of movement in them again. And press your hands into the ground now, stepping back into plank, and then dropping the knees back down to all fours. We'll move on to our left side. Hello. So wrists stacked underneath your shoulders, knees stacked underneath your hips. Wrist creases are in line with the short edge of your mat. Bringing your left knee out to the side, back behind you, and neutral. Out to the side, back behind, and neutral. Out to the side, back behind, neutral. Out to the side, back behind, neutral. Last one, out to the side, back behind, and neutral. Extend your left leg out behind you and flex your foot. We'll pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knee and step that foot forward between your hands. Check your stance. You might need to bring your back knee in a little bit. Front knee stacked over your ankle and back knee stacked underneath your hips. Reach your arms up to the sky. Bring your shoulders away from your ears and tuck your back toe. Now lift that back leg off the ground, straightening. Draw the tailbone down. Lower your back knee down, hovering just above the ground, and then raise it back up. Lower down, raise 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 back up. Last one, lower down, raise back up. Now lower down, bring your weight forward into that front foot, bring your hands down, forward and then down and around, back behind you, as you use your back foot as a lever to lift up into Virabhadrasana 3. You can place your hands to a block if you need to. Flex your back foot and imagine you're pressing against a wall, engaging that leg. You can keep a bend in your standing leg if you need. That helps with your balance. Feel free to bring your hands to heart-centered as well. If you fall out, it's fine. Sometimes I find my balance isn't as good on this leg. As long as you keep your strength, draw your elbow into spine. Now bend through that front leg and bring your right leg in front of you, standing staff pose. Hands to heart center. We're going to do those toe taps on this side now. So reaching out and tapping something in front of you with your right toe. Bring it back to neutral. Reach out to the right, back to neutral, out behind you, back to neutral, over to the left, back to neutral. Find something steady to gaze at, out to the front and neutral, out to the right and neutral, back behind you, neutral, over to the left and neutral. You might wobble around a little bit, that's fine. And last round, so stepping forward, reaching out to the right, back behind you, and then over to the left. We'll all meet in Tadasana, big toes together, heels slightly apart. Draw your tailbone down, broaden across your collarbones, and draw your shoulders up. Inhale, raise your arms up, and exhale, folding forward, bending through the knees. Take a few breaths here. Let your head relax. Close your eyes if you want to and walk out your stance if you like, bending through the knees and straightening. Just letting go here. Reconnect with your breath if you've lost that. And all coming back into halfway lift. We're going to move into goddess pose. So stepping to a wide stance that's comfortable for you. Your big toes are pointing towards your corners of your mat. Bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to bend through your knees and make sure they're tracking in the same direction as your toes. Come down to a comfortable position, and this is where we'll hold for 10, 9, remember to smile, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to the ground, straighten through the legs, and we'll fold forward. Just relaxing here for a moment. You can turn your feet in if that's more comfortable for you. And now coming back up again, we'll do one more round. Turn your toes out. Coming up to standing, bring your hands to heart center. Bend through the knees. Make sure they're tracking in the same direction as your toes. Draw that tailbone down and breathe. We'll hold for 10, 9, 8. Remember to smile. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place your hands to the ground and walk them over to the left side, turning onto the heel of your right foot and straightening through your right leg. Skandasana. Keep your hands to the ground. Breathing here. And now let's walk over to the right side, bending through that right knee, straightening the left leg, and moving on to the heel of the left foot. Hands to the ground. And coming back to center, straightening through those legs and turning the feet so they're parallel with the short edges of your mat. Place your right hand to the ground or onto your block if you want to raise the ground up a little bit. Keep your hips where they are in a nice neutral position, and we're going to imagine you're pulling a bow and arrow, drawing that left elbow back behind you along your rib cage, and then open up to that left side, reaching your left arm to the sky. Breathing into this twist, opening up through the chest. Gazes to the left or to your left hand if you want to. Depends what's comfortable on your neck. Or you can always gaze to the ground. Now bringing that hand back down again, we'll move to the right side, placing your left hand on the block or floor. Make a fist with your right hand. Check your hips are neutral. Now drawing that bow and arrow, pulling that string back along your rib cage as you open up to the right side, reaching your right arm to the sky. There shouldn't be any movement from your legs or your hips. We're only moving from the thoracic spine. Breathing in, breathing out, opening up through that chest. And coming back down to neutral. Let's make our way to the floor, heel toe your feet in, and sitting back down into a comfortable position. We'll reach our left leg out in front of us, and we'll place our right knee over the top of our left. If you can't bend your leg in that sort of position, then feel free to just place your right foot next to your left knee. Place your hands underneath your left knee. Lift up through the crown of the head, pressing the sit bones into the ground, and we'll round through the spine, lowering down, trying to get aiming to get our forehead towards our knees. As long as it's going in that direction, that's fine. And keeping both your sit bones on the ground. If you want to place a cushion under your head and make it more restorative, then do so. This is our time to just relax, feel the effects of our practice that we've done today, and just stretch out any of the muscles that are feeling a little bit tight. Keep a flex in that left foot and just connect with your breath. Feel the sensations of each posture and what they do to your muscles and your joints. And we'll come back up and move into figure 4, so bending through that left knee and placing your right ankle on top of your left knee. Bring your hands behind you and bring your torso, or draw your torso towards your leg. Flex in that right foot and you're pressing your right knee away from you. Move your left foot in or out if you want to feel more intense, or less intense, bring your foot out. And we'll just breathe here. Make sure both your sit bones are on the ground. And just come out of it a little bit if you find your breath is constricted. Did a lot of work on your glutes today, so it's good to release them a little. You can rock side to side if that feels nice for you, or just keep it still. Now just let that right foot and left knee fall all the way to the ground. Bring your sit bones back to the ground if they've lifted off, and if you want to, you can extend your left leg out straight. Raising up with your arms to the sky, and we'll twist over to the right. Extending your arms out, you can wrap your bring your right hand to the ground behind you and use it as a lever to lift your torso and crown to the sky. Make sure both your sit bones are in the ground. Breathing into this twist, and just play around with your neck if you like. Looking forward over your left shoulder and rocking side to side. And then you can look behind you over your right shoulder. You can do some neck rolls here. Just rolling side to side. Make sure they're nice and gentle. Look after your neck. And coming back to center, we'll swap over to the other side. So reaching your right leg out, placing your left knee over the top of your right, and remember you can just place your left foot next to your right knee if that's better, wherever's comfortable for you. Pressing your right leg into the ground and flexing your foot. Place your hands underneath your right knee. Lift up through the crown of the head and press those sit bones into the ground. And now rolling forward, rounding through the spine, aiming your forehead to your knees. and just breathing. You might want to take a few cleansing breaths here. You might want to close over your eyes. Remember, this is your practice, and we're closing down now. So just reconnect with your breath and feel yourself grounding down into the earth. On your inhale, you might want to lift, and as you exhale, you might be able to fold a little bit further without pulling yourself into this. Just let your body go where it needs to go. And coming back up again, figure 4 on this side. Bending through that right knee, placing your foot to the ground and bringing your left ankle on top of your right knee. Bring your hands behind you, using them as a lever to press your torso towards your leg. Draw your left knee away from you and flex your left foot. Remember, you can move your right foot forward away from you or bring it closer towards you to make it more or less intense. Everyone will feel this differently. Just breathing into any tight areas. Send your breath there. And letting that left foot fall all the way to the ground and your right knee to the ground. Remember, you can extend out your right leg straight if you want to. Inhale, raising your arms up, and exhale, twisting over to the left. Wrapping your right arm around your left knee and using your left arm like a tripod behind you to lift. Keep your sit bones in the ground. Breathe into this twist. And coming back to center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your soles of your feet together, your knees out wide. Sit bones into the earth and lift up through the crown of the head as you fold forward. Reaching your arms out in front of you. As you inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back up to neutral, and just find a seated position that's comfortable for you. Cross-legged, sitting on your block, on your cushion, however you find comfort. We'll bring our hands to our knees and close over our eyes. We'll take a nice deep inhale here and exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. We'll just sit here for a moment, grounding down into the earth below us, feeling the air moving in and out of our nostrils. Check in with your body. How does it feel now after all that work that you've done? You should feel very proud of yourself for taking this time to look after you. And feel free to stay here for as long as you want. Savasana is a really important part of your practice to reconnect. If you want to stay here a bit longer, then just ignore me. But if you're ready to come out and reach your arms up to the sky on your next big inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands in prayer to heart center. Bowing your head down and thanking yourself for taking this time to look after you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope to see you again soon.